I know there are moments when you look at me and wonder why my mood changes without warning. You notice the way I become quiet, the way my smile fades for a second, or the way I ask questions that seem to come from nowhere. Maybe you've wondered if I don't trust you, or if I believe you've done something wrong. The truth is much more complicated than that. I'm jealous because you matter to me more than I ever expected anyone could. Before you came into my life, I convinced myself that I didn't need to care this deeply about another person. I thought I had learned how to protect my heart. I built walls that seemed impossible to break, and I promised myself that no one would ever become important enough to make me vulnerable again. Then you arrived. Without trying, you changed everything. You didn't force your way into my world. You simply showed me kindness when I least expected it. You listened to me when I had nothing interesting to say. You stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. Little by little, you became the person I looked for in every room, the voice I wanted to hear after a difficult day, and the smile that could calm every storm inside me. That's when I realized I had something to lose. Jealousy isn't always about believing someone else will steal the person you love. Sometimes it's the fear that life itself will create distance. It's the fear that time will change people. It's the fear that new experiences, new friendships, or unexpected opportunities will slowly pull two hearts apart without either person realizing it. I don't want that to happen to us. When I see other people making you laugh, a tiny voice inside me whispers that maybe one day they will understand you better than I do. When someone compliments you, another voice reminds me how incredible you are and how many people could notice the same things I fell in love with. It's not because I think you're looking for someone else. It's because I know how amazing you are. You have a way of making people feel seen. You have a heart that naturally cares for others, and that's one of the reasons I love you so much. But sometimes I wish I could freeze time, keeping this chapter of our lives exactly as it is forever. I know that's impossible. Life keeps moving, people grow, dreams change, but every time I think about the future, I hope that no matter how much our lives evolve, we keep choosing each other over and over again. There are nights when I replay our conversations in my mind, wondering if I said enough to remind you how much you mean to me. I wonder if I made you feel appreciated. I wonder if I hugged you tightly enough before we said goodbye. Maybe I overthink everything. Maybe I care too much. But if loving you deeply means occasionally becoming afraid of losing you, then that's a price I'm willing to pay. I never want my jealousy to become a burden. I never want it to become control, anger, or distrust. Love should never be a cage. It should be a place where two people feel safe enough to be themselves. That's the kind of love I want to give you. So whenever you notice that I'm unusually quiet, don't assume the worst. Sometimes I'm simply reminding myself that I need to trust the person I love instead of listening to my fears, because fear can be loud, but love deserves to be louder. Every memory we've created together reminds me that what we have is real. The late-night conversations that lasted until sunrise, the random laughter over things no one else would understand, the quiet moments when words weren't necessary, those memories are stronger than the doubts that occasionally try to invade my mind. You've shown me patience on days when I wasn't easy to understand. You've forgiven my mistakes. You've believed in me when I struggled to believe in myself. How could I not treasure someone like you? That's why my heart reacts the way it does. Not because I think you're unfaithful. Not because I think you'll intentionally hurt me. But because you've become the most valuable part of my life. People protect what they treasure. Sometimes they protect it too much. I'm learning that the greatest proof of love isn't holding on tightly. It's trusting that two hearts connected by honesty, respect, and genuine affection don't need chains to stay together. I want us to keep growing. I want us to become the kind of couple that faces misunderstandings with conversations instead of silence, the kind of couple that chooses forgiveness over pride, the kind of couple that celebrates each other's victories without insecurity, the kind of couple that never stops reminding one another, I'm still here, because at the end of every difficult day, every misunderstanding, and every moment of doubt, there is one truth that never changes. If I had the chance to choose again, I would still choose you, not because you're perfect, not because our journey has been easy, but because every version of my future becomes brighter when you're standing beside me. And maybe that's the real reason my heart becomes jealous sometimes. It's simply terrified of imagining a world where you're no longer part of it. So if you ever notice that look in my eyes, don't see it as anger. See it as someone silently praying that the beautiful story we've started together will continue for many more chapters, with our hands still reaching for each other, our hearts still beating with the same hope, and our love becoming stronger with every passing day.